right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dodo Biscuits. Here my co-host David Raricich. I'm Joseph Medalia. We have a special guest co-host, Kenny Greening, with us. Dan Hoffman's hanging out with Derek Rose somewhere, so he couldn't make it today. All right. So our first topic is we're gonna play the green screen game with Dave and try to give him hints on what the background is, like in Whose Line.
All right, there you go. Back to normal.
Actually, first topic today is Super Mario Brothers film. So there's been rumors circulating for a while, and it's been officially announced. A Super Mario Brothers animated film is being created, and they release the name of the cast. So okay, after the critical, this is all kind of via Wikipedia, so I do apologize. After the critical and commercial failure of the '93 film, Nintendo was reluctant to license its properties to film adaptations. But Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto became interested in developing another Mario film when Nintendo was bringing its older games to the Virtual Console service.
Just tell them about the cast. That's the big controversy.
I'm building up to it. There's this whole story here.
I know. We're just trying to keep everyone interested. Go read Wikipedia on your own when you have a chance. Just
All right, five. All right. So they teamed up with Universal and Illumination Universal or something, and they've just announced the cast. So playing Super Mario is Chris Pratt.
I don't think everyone's ever called him Christopher before.
No.
No.
Luigi is Charlie Day. Charlie Day is famous from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and the quirky, funny guy in any movie that comes out.
Always Sunny. Yeah, that's basically his big thing here.
Yeah.
He was in a couple of Boss films or whatever.
Yeah. He was also in the giant robot thing.
I have a quick fact about the original Super Mario Brothers movie in '93.
Yeah.
Apparently the two people who directed that did the intros to Friday Night Videos back in the '80s, which I learned when I did my last video for my
right, the husband-wife team.
Husband-wife team, yes.
Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel.
And you know what else they did?
Max Headroom.
Max Headroom.
Yes.
Yes,
the
people who came up with Super Mario Brothers. Well, they directed Super Mario in '93. Was it '93
film? Yeah.
I feel like it should have been '89, but you're right. Okay.
We can go into that film maybe a little bit later. Let's keep it on. Okay, let's get through the cast. So then we got Anna Taylor as Princess Peach, even though I always call her Princess Toadstool.
I don't know who that is.
Two different princesses.
They really? No, they're the same one.
No,
thinking of Daisy, I think maybe.
No, Princess Daisy is Super Mario Land. She's the yellow one.
And Peach, I think.
She was Princess Toadstool in the original. They called her Princess Toadstool, and then they changed it to Peach at some point.
I forgot when.
Yeah, she was Princess Toadstool. Jack Black is Bowser. Oh, Anna Taylor, you would know her from what's that movie? The chess movie from Netflix, the chess TV show.
Searching for Bobby Fischer?
Close. The Queen's Gambit.
Oh, yeah.
She dyed her hair blonde, and she looks very, very pretty.
I'm an uncultured swine.
What is that guy's name? Anthony Michael Keegan as Toad. Or Michael Keegan. I forget his name. And my note was kind of screwed up.
Wow.
Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike. Spike is famous from the video game Wrecking Crew, and kind of fell into obscurity these past 30 years, but he's going to be in the film.
The hell he is.
You know the game Wrecking Crew?
I know Wrecking Crew, but that was like one of the original 8-bit black box games. I mean, who gives a go?
He's the guy that when you verse in like the bonus rounds and then in a couple of the boards.
Everyone forgot about that game.
I love Wrecking Crew.
I mean, it's a fun game, but it's not something I would, like what an obscure reference. Kenny, are you gonna go see this movie? Like even with the cast, or
I got three people left here. 4 people.
Okay, read through the list.
Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek. I don't know who that is. Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong.
Okay, that's a good.
Martinet, the original voice of Mario from the other games, is going to be making various unspecified cameos.
Okay, so
Okay.
that was the controversy, is that they didn't make Charles Martinet Mario, and my whole thing is, okay. What about you, Kenny? Are you gonna go see this movie?
It's difficult to say, mainly because I mean, Chris Pratt. I do like the lineup of actors just in general, with the exception of a few. But at the same time, there have been a lot of things going on lately with movies that just don't seem like they're going to be up to par, and then they end up surpassing expectations. I
Well-
will say this though, that I think this is also kind of, in a sense, a little bit of a promotional stunt as well.
Yeah, of course.
Considering that Universal is getting ready to open their Super Nintendo World in about 2 or 3 years, so it's
Very-
going to
yeah.
line up with that.
Yeah,
I didn't know about Super Nintendo World. What is that?
in Japan, they have one.
It's just like a
park, one of the, like, how Wizarding World of Harry Potter is at
Yeah.
one of the Universal parks, or technically at both Universal parks in Orlando and so on and so forth. They're going to be opening up. Universal is actually going to be opening up a technically a 4th theme park for them.
okay.
In the Orlando area called Epic Universe. One of the lands that they're doing is called Super Nintendo World, which they have one, as he said, over in Japan.
If you go on Nintendo Direct, you could actually see footage like Miyamoto himself is walking through it and showing off the exhibits, and it's actually pretty amazing looking. The thing about that is that, and I'm not insulting any fans here, but I'm not 12. I'm a little too old for this. I mean, they have fans of all ages. And I know I feel the same way about Disneyland too. I'm not a big Disney fan either, so. But it does look cool though. Maybe I might go.
It's
Okay,
it's the immersion aspect. The atmosphere that they create is just something you don't see anywhere else.
So
That has nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah. I mean, let me walk it back. I'm not a family friendly type of place kind of guy. I like to
But
go to adult places.
that's what Nintendo is, though. It's
exactly
family-friendly
I'm not
games.
the audience for
Yeah.
this, and it's not for me.
Theme parks are the big thing since Disney started them way back when.
Yeah, I mean,
and I mean, he was pushing that back in the 60s, and eventually his brother had to finish building Disney World because he felt Disneyland was too small for his vision, and he went and he bought up all this land in Disney World under fake companies. And
so
then
you're
I
the
guess
fact sphere from Portal.
I'm a what?
You're the fact sphere from Portal.
I have a lot of useless knowledge. That's why I started the podcast.
I know. I'm just sorry. I'm busting all the balls.
It's fine. It makes them
To
more
go from like Bob Hoskins to Chris Pratt, from John Leguizamo to Charlie Day, the Day Man,
Well, let's
Fighter
not
of the Night Man.
let's not forget this is an animated film, so
And also,
this is like a cast you would cast if it was live action. But why are they doing this? Like, why not get more voice actors?
well, because here's the thing: they're trying to market a movie with big names, and that's what people don't realize, is that they're not looking to jiggle the fans' balls of make their day better, but they want to market a movie to a wider audience using big name celebrities who are recognizable and A-list. So they're not going to use like Nolan North and who was another voice actor that I know about.
You end up with movies like Anastasia when you just cast big names, but not
Which no one
the
cares
right
about.
talent.
I mean, they
Right.
do. I'm sorry. Let me walk that back. People do care about Anastasia, but your parents are not going to bring the kids to see that. Although they might. I'm saying a lot of stupid things today. A lot of wrong things.
I don't know.
Things are also different nowadays. I mean, compare Anastasia with the large voice actors then compared to, say, now the Lego movie with all those large voice actors.
Yeah, you had Chris Pratt in Lego Movie, and also Will Arnett, and you had
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
But he was
it was
live.
Will Ferrell was in the
Also-
live action portion of that.
He was also
Sorry.
did the voice.
He
Oh,
he
he
did the
did?
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big boss guy.
You recognized it, but you didn't quite place it, and I was like, oh yeah.
So they're going with big names, and they're trying to, I guess, get a piece of that Pixar pie on
Well-
top of a piece of the theme park pie.
Apologies to fans of Anastasia, by the way. I didn't know what else.
I don't think
Right.
we have any Anastasia fans watching this.
No, there's gonna be one person who watches this in like 3 years and it's like, I love Anastasia. How dare he? It's like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I tap dance.
All
I
right,
usually
so
script my stuff.
If this is Universal, does that mean that it's going to be DreamWorks?
Yeah.
oh, that's a good point. DreamWorks is owned by Universal. I didn't know that. All right, I guess Spielberg sold it at some point.
So on a separate matter, are you keeping track of the time, Joe? I know you want to keep it tight tens.
Yeah, we got a couple more minutes.
Okay. But
So okay, going to the live action version from '93. It had a $48 million budget, and it made an estimated $48 million budget, and it made 38.9 million in the box office. So it was a flop.
well, yeah,
28% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Bob Hoskins described it as the worst thing, his quotes, I ever did. Super Mario Brothers, it was a nightmare. The whole
thought we were
experience
in
was a
first.
nightmare. I'm just quoting Bob Hoskins. I'll beat myself later.
You have to do it in Bob Hoskins' voice then. It was a man.
It had a husband and wife team directing whose arrogance had been mistaken for talent. After so many weeks, their own agent told them to get off the set. Nightmare, idiots.
But here's the thing about the live action movie. There's no deep canon to the Super Mario Bros. Movie. It's basically, okay, the princess is kidnapped, Mario goes to save her, and then Mario and Bowser go go-karting together and play tennis and go golfing or play board games. It's not like there's a whole deep narrative behind the Super Mario Brothers universe. So to make a movie about it, it's pretty much doomed from the start back in '93. Nowadays, it's so much more, a lot more creative scripting in terms of tongue-in-cheek storytelling that might make it work. I don't know what the script is about, but I don't think it's going to be terrible. I'm sure it'll do well.
Well, if you look at the original game, right, he gets warped in through a magic plumbing pipe, has to save a princess in a magical land. Then the sequel's a dream. The third one's a play.
Spoiler
And
alert.
then spoiler alert for a 30-year-old game. I'm sorry, everybody.
The only thing that ever happened was Super Mario Brothers 1.
What about what's Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario World though? Is that
It's on N64.
That's Super Mario. That's Mario 64. I think those are all real.
None of them are real.
Donkey Kong, he's saving. I think that's Daisy, right? Is that Daisy?
That's
Mario?
Pauline.
Pauline
Was the original heroine. Apparently, this is back in '81, so this is before Peach. This is before Super Mario.
Yeah, and then
Jumpman also originally.
So I guess they're gonna work Donkey Kong in that way, and then Wrecking Crew, he's just running around wrecking stuff because he worked a few jobs.
I don't. Wrecking Crew. It's weird.
You know way too much about Super Mario.
Well, we do a little research
Like,
before the show.
it's a video game as far as I'm concerned. So I'm like, fucking getting all this information from.
You know what though? That's Kenny's a good perspective because he's not really a gamer, I guess.
Yeah,
So.
it's I like video games, but I'm probably not as big of a fan that I'm gonna go see Super Mario Brothers. I didn't see Sonic the Hedgehog because, again, it's okay. That's nice.
I saw it.
I didn't see Mortal Kombat. I saw Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat was good. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't like it, but
it was fun.
At least compared to the first movie, yeah.
I like the first movie. There's a campiness in '90s appeal to that.
It has its moments.
And the new one was also solid. It wasn't. You're not expecting these Oscar winners. So
Mortal Kombat is a little too overhyped in terms of when it compared to other fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. I think it relies too heavily on shock value
early on, and now it's not even that shocking anymore.
I mean, you want to talk like great video game movies from the '90s? I'm going back to like Double Dragon. All right.
Oh, I was just thinking Double Dragon. Yeah, that was Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think.
No, that's Street Fighter.
Was Patrick. What's his name? Terminator T-1000.
Oh, Patrick.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah.
And
the kid from Beverly Hills.
No, he was Bailey in Party of Five.
Party of Five. Yeah, one of those movies. And
Scott Wolf,
and what's his name? The bad guy, the Asian bad guy from John Wick 3.
Mark DeGugu. What's his name? I lost the screen. I just had it. Oh, Mark. Mark Dacascos.
Alyssa Milano was also in that.
And it was like so 90s too. It was like you could see. I didn't watch the movie, but I saw like bits and pieces.
Our next
Roger
topic
Rabbit ride.
is the Roger Rabbit ride. Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin attraction in Disneyland's Toontown. They replaced Jessica Rabbit with some barrels of acid in the trunk of a car.
It's a one-to-one comparison, I guess.
So it was reported, let's see, the dark ride based on the 88 film let riders hop into a taxi cab for a swirling trip through the movie's main plot points. Both the ride and the elaborate queue feature Jessica Rabbit, the comically curvaceous love interest several times, sorry.
Whoop.
The missing figure is near the beginning of the ride. Jessica formerly appeared in the trunk of the car tied up and swinging her bare legs. Disneyland News Today reports that she has been replaced by barrels. She's still featured later in the ride, bonking a character over the head with a mallet.
Yep.
But
yeah,
where is this, Joe?
It's in Disneyland's Toontown. So you go to Disneyland, you go
Anaheim,
to Toontown.
California.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Has anyone ever?
I've gotten a ride at once.
Oh, how was it? As someone with first-hand experience.
It was a kid's ride, but from what I understand, the reason why they replaced her and what they're planned to do is basically move away from, I don't know, the sexist part of it, and they're gonna make it now an adventure about her solving crimes.
Ooh, a
Why
spin-off.
they removed her there so that she's
right,
they don't want girls feeling like they're not able to be empowered because Jessica Rabbit is being kidnapped, and they don't want young boys growing up and kidnapping women, throwing them in the back of cars. So they put cans in there.
From a storytelling perspective, I could see that because it's kind of an old trope.
Well, it's California, yeah.
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 How they do it in California.
Tiny Who Framed Roger Rabbit was a joke on those tropes. It took place in the 40s, and it was old cartoons doing old shtick, and then they put a little spin on it because they were interacting with real humans.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit was a landmark in crossover cinema that will never ever happen again.
Yep. Because what was it? I know with Disney and Warner Brothers, the only way they were able to use either characters or any of the characters is they had to have the main character of both. Like Mickey Mouse had to be on the same amount of time, had to save the same screen time as Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Donald Duck. Oh, we already talked about that.
No, I said I just read that article, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you have to have a certain. They all had to have a certain amount of time, and I think it was because it was like, what was it?
It was Gambling Entertainment, so Touchstone, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it was I can't even think of the word. Like, it's supposed to be a subsidiary of, like, was it Disney or was it it was like a subsidiary of Disney.
Touchstone.
So they would,
Touchstone.
But they were, I know that, but I mean, like, it was bought out and they were paying everything from Disney.
Yeah. By the way, I'm folding laundry while I'm talking, so I apologize. But yeah, I think it was Disney.
No worries. I'm probably gonna have to do the same thing.
I'll do a quick search. But I mean, is there a controversy over this though? I was doing a search on this before, but was there like a big uproar about this?
So let's see. Social media members posted a new sign that appears outside the ride's queue, which explains Rabbit's new role on the ride. And then there's a quote here. I'll skip that. It's unclear whether the change was made to fix a mechanical issue. Disney frequently pulls malfunctioning parts of rides until they can be rehabbed, or to rid the ride of a potentially sexualizing portrayal of a damsel in distress. If this change is permanent, it would be in line with the number of alterations the park has made to attractions over the years since 2017. Pirates of the Caribbean removed the scene where a wench for a bride auction was taking place. And earlier this year, huge portions of the Jungle Cruise attraction were changed to remove insensitive cultural depictions. In the future, Splash Mountain will be completely rethemed to remove its racist inspiration, Song of the South.
So just to answer Dan's question, it was Touchstone, which is Disney, Amblin, which is Universal, and Silver Screen Partners. So it was
Uh,
basically Disney.
Yeah, it was basically Disney.
And,
So that's
and
why,
Spielberg.
yeah,
And
because that was why they had Disney on there for a little bit longer.
And this
Yeah.
was a film made pre like understanding green screen. So they would rehearse it with miniature like puppets. Then they'd redo all the scenes without them. And Bob Hoskins had to like learn his sight lines.
If you
And
ever get this,
sometimes his sight lines would be off and they'd have to reanimate. They'd animate it so that, you know, like the cartoon would be stretched out or something. It was very
they had
revolutionary film.
like robots, I remember, in the making of to imitate the actual cartoon.
Yes.
So like they had like a it's kind of almost, what's the word I'm looking for, like futuristically depressing, dystopian, when you saw a robot like breaking plates over his head.
Yep.
Without the animation there, it looks very creepy.
And
Yeah.
with all the CGI technology and all the capabilities, it's funny that lawyers and licensing are the thing that would prevent a sequel.
Yeah, that and also was a lot of I remember it being a lot of just hand drawn, because a lot of it was just animated,
All of it was.
animated, animated the correct way, and then going on to like the other stuff, and it was just like, wow. Now you have everything that looks like CGI, and you can tell it's like, oh, there's so much CGI in there.
CGI kind of ruined the magic of filmmaking, I have to say.
Mhm.
Go back to watching things in the like Tron. Go back to Tron. And that was CGI, but it was very primitive CGI.
Yeah.
But go back even further, and like Star Wars, and just seeing things practically done, so much more impressive than
Well,
just, you know, making
the,
a
the
3D
best
model.
films have a hybrid. The best films like Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy,
It's still not as impressive though. It's
has
just kind of
miniatures and CGI, and you mix them both together.
Yeah, because that was it. Wasn't the king? Was it the Kingdom of the Dead? Like they made over like 2,000 skulls, and then they added more skulls on top of that because they were like, well, we need more shit in there, so. And they like added on. It was like supposed to be like they were supposed to be buried in 30,000, like 30 million skulls, and it was just like, all right, we'll just keep adding on, and it's like, oh wow, that's interesting. But they had like the little miniatures that went from miniatures to like that the next level, and then it was from there.
I saw a great YouTube video showing how they used to do it before computers, like where they had like matte paintings and they had like really low res puppets in stands, like in just cardboard cutouts on risers. It's pretty interesting what they used to have to do. So Kenny, you have any opinions on that?
The opinion.
What, last I know, we were supposed to be talking about Jessica Rabbit ride, and now
we went off a little bit.
We kind of went off the track on that ride.
Going back to
the
ride,
tangential.
Going back to the ride, what's the opinion? Is it just it needed an update, or like do we think they're overreacting to
Disneyland itself is specifically meant for more of like a nostalgic factor. So
Yeah.
updating a ride in general, you know, there isn't really much of an update other than trying to placate or, you know, make it less nostalgia by removing all the things that make it nostalgic.
I mean, from what I saw, it looked like a pretty innocuous thing. You know, she's just tied up in a trunk, and now it's barrels. And I don't think it makes any difference either way.
I don't think it was based on the movie. There's so much plot.
Yeah,
she was tied up and thrown in the trunk at one point.
It's kind of like if they removed
Roger was thrown in their trunk.
Yeah, he was thrown in the back of Eddie. What was it?
Roger
Eddie's
Rabbit.
card.
Didn't they tie her up at one point?
They tied her up with Roger at the end before when they were about to get dipped.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
But it's like kind of like removing like if you ever go to a Universal, they have olive oil hanging like strung up and hanging from like a little point, and it's just she's hanging over a river, and it's like, oh my, she's yelling at the whole time. Like it's like removing that and kind of like going,
wait, she's hanging by her neck?
No. From like she's strung up like she's like hogtied.
But again, from a storytelling perspective, it's good that they're moving away from that trope of like the damsel in distress, and I could see why they want to stop relying on that so much. It's kind of lazy storytelling, much like Super Mario Brothers stopped doing that so much.
What do you mean? What trope? With Mario
But
Brothers?
the damsel in distress trope.
Stress, yeah.
That is being like the MacGuffin. Is that the word?
But
MacGuffin.
it's a classic story, right? Or what guy doesn't want to run off and save some girl and be her
It's
hero?
Especially if you're a
overdone.
rabbit.
Yeah, sometimes it's overdone a little bit.
At this point, because we're in our 40s, plus or minus a few years.
But we're going back
And-
to like the beginning of cinema, maybe even further back if you really want to delve deeper into like literature and
Yeah, like most of the westerns are always guys running off, taking out like four or five, six like bad guys just to get the girl that's tied up on the train trestle. It's like, oh hey, I'm here.
All right.
exactly.
We're at 10 minutes. Any last comments before we move on?
I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
Our last topic is Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh yes, I brought this up. I suggested this one.
The Kickstarter, there was a Kickstarter to do a reboot of the show. And they had a
Second
very-
Kickstarter.
second Kickstarter. They had a very successful crowdfunding, which earned $6.5 million. So they wanted, I think the target was 5.5 million. They made $1 million more. And instead of doing 12 episodes, they now have enough money to do 13 episodes.
Which includes a Christmas special and includes the return of Joel as host for one episode.
Nice.
So, Dave, why don't you fill us in on what is Mystery Science Theater 3000 and a little
Well,
bit.
if you haven't seen the show by now, then I mean, you could just turn off the podcast
been-
right now. It's
yeah.
been on since
You've been
going
living
back to
under a rock.
KPLA,
For the kids at home.
for the kids at
Kids
home.
home.
It's a show basically where a group of performers riff on bad movies, and they use two puppets and a host who typically is the writer. It was Joel Hodgson, and Mike Nelson. Then in the first reboot on Netflix, it was Jonah Heston. And then now I forgot who they're using for this one coming up. There's a new host. And then they do like little low budget stuff. It started off as a local show on Minneapolis, and then it moved to Comedy Central. Then it moved to Sci-Fi for this last few years, and then Netflix, and now it's just going to be a standalone streaming service that's called the Gizmoplex. That's basically an on-demand, network-free version that people who could access by paying a premium. So basically, they don't have to be beholden to any network or any brass or anything. They're beholden to themselves. And
So they raised money to produce a show that they're then going to charge their fans to see.
well, if you pay the Kickstarter, you already have the access. I paid $150 actually, 150, and I have access to not only the entire season, but also like a bunch of other episodes and maybe some stickers and a T-shirt.
No, $150.
nice.
That's a lot.
And also, my name's going to be in the credits that no one's ever going to see.
we're gonna freeze frame it and put it right on here.
It's going to be one episode. I get Kickstarter credits, by the way, because it makes the credits last like 20 minutes.
Oh, it takes forever. It's like if you ever watched like what was it, when people make fan made games or like this or that, and they're like they go and they name out all the YouTubers or the people that have like promoted and like beat the shit out of their game. Like they're
Gee,
literally
You know what
like
movie?
taking test hitters.
You know what movie started that trend? Does anyone know?
Mario
Was
Brothers?
it that movie with Zach Braff?
Star Wars, actually. George Lucas
Star-
listed the entire cast and crew, which wasn't done prior. They just list kind of key players.
Well, it's not even just people who worked on the movie. This is just people who put in a buck or
They're
two.
technically producers, so that's how
I
that
guess
started.
so.
Though anybody who kind of helped out gets their name listed now.
We got too many producers, I tell you.
Thank George Lucas for that.
I know.
Am I the only one who does anybody here watch MST3K or has watched it?
I used to watch it when I was a kid.
a long time ago.
I tried watching
time
it
ago.
as an adult. The jokes are hit or miss as you get older.
Oh no! Oh no!
Any jokes are hit or miss with anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. There's sometimes when it's not hilarious, but it's kind of fun to watch old movies with that
Yes.
playing. Like if you watch Manos, Hands of Fate, it's more fun to watch with them, even though it cuts out portions of the movie because of time constraints.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I still love the what do we call it? Oh, it was the Santa one. It was the Christmas one they did where Santa
First
saves
the
Mars.
Martians.
Yeah, that one was the only one I saw too, like from beginning to end, and I thought it was like amazing. But then like it turned me on to like there was oh god, I can't remember the guy's name, but it was like he was like Blair something, and he did all these really like purposeful B horror movie or B movies where it was like it took every single one of those like like bad tropes where it's like the dark house, the mystery, the out of nowhere monster that didn't make sense, or the like the animal that was a guy just got in a gorilla suit. Like one of his famous ones is like this the lost the lost skeleton of cadaver, or Dark and Stormy Night. These are like it was movies like that where it's like they were ripping on like stuff they focused on like Mystery Science Theater type like riffing where they were just bullshitting about it for like 5-10 minutes where it's like, well, this is what this was, but then it's like we're gonna go into this, we're gonna go and do this, and then suddenly you see him go,
Well, it is
okay,
definitely a challenge to find the comedy in a bad movie and be able to
How do you not find the
comment on
challenge?
it.
Why do you think it's a challenge?
Because
fun.
you
yeah,
have to
I
come
was
up
gonna
with,
say,
I would think you have to come up with solid jokes while
oh
bad
no, you
movies
don't need
play.
solid jokes, you don't need
You just kind of riff off what's going on. I mean, you don't even need MST3K. They have riff tracks you could download for any of your favorite movies.
Yep.
I have
I love
Roadhouse.
what was it the guy who does the voice of Yakko?
Oh, Maurice, is it Maurice LaMarche? LaManche?
No, it was
No, that's not him.
Paul something.
Paul Schneer. It's not Paul Schneer.
No, it's like
Hang on, I'm looking it up.
I was gonna say I can't think of his name at the
Rob
moment.
Paulson?
Yes,
Rob Paulson, yes.
There
You
you
beat
go.
me.
He did well. I think I tried to show. I think Joe. I think I showed you this, but he had a whole thing where it was oh god, it was him and another like person, and they would just take the script of any of the like the really famous movies and basically just go and do the whole script with the voices of like the Pinky and the Brain, or like I think it was like, yeah, they had Maurice LaMantia on it one time, and they were just like Pinky and the Brain. They had him and somebody else doing like what do you call it? Oh, what the fuck was it? The Godfather. They had a lot of like big things, and it was just riff tracking where it was just, and you just see him just losing his mind because then it's like he has Yakko doing like the entire like riff from like Macbeth, and it's like what the like it was like what the hell?
Juxtaposition of serious content and cartoon voices.
They actually,
that.
Animaniacs are going on tour. They're going to be at the Westbury Stadium Theater in January.
Wait, what are they going to animate? Are they going to animate them live?
No, it's like the actors and they sing the songs from the TV show.
Oh,
I was debating buying tickets, but I was like, I couldn't think of anyone who'd want to go with me to see it.
I've met Tress McNeil already.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. Like honestly, she was like it was the funniest thing because like she was at a convention that I honestly was just there to see Maurice LaMantia because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get his autograph because he was Zoidberg, and I'm getting his damn or his autograph. And it was hilarious because then when I got there, and he's like, oh, I know, like I was dressed as a Ghostbuster, and he goes, oh, I know what you're going for. I'm like, I dropped the Futurama DVD on him, and he goes, holy shit, that was a right field, that was left field.
So
I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I do
the
want that, but
tour to give you put it in context, Rob Paulson as Yakko, Maurice LaMarche as Brain, Jess Harnell Wacko, Tress McNeil Dot, Randy Rogel is the composer, and they go on tour and they're just performing songs
they
from
don't
the
have
show.
they don't have Wacko.
Wacko is Jess Harnell.
Oh, just I was gonna say.
And it's just a live action version. If anyone's interested, find me later. We'll talk about maybe I'll get tickets. I'm a little nervous to buy tickets though because of you never know what's getting shut down these days.
Yeah, everything is
Yeah.
up in the air. So make sure you have a good return policy or like a guarantee.
All right, so we got 1 minute left.
I don't know when that's going to premiere, by the way. So I was looking it up and I couldn't get the official date of when the new season of MST3K is coming out, but just keep track of it.
Keep an eye out.
Any
Keep an eye.
thoughts? You've been kind of quiet on this one.
You want to do? Anyone have to play anything to plug? Plug your
Uh,
plugs.
Okay, so again, my short film, which is actually starring Kenny Greening, will be at the 1 Minute Film Festival in Franklin Square, November 6th.
Oh, that.
Wait, how long will that take?
It's 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like a 2-hour festival, but only
So 200 films. Oh, I'm sorry, 220 films.
What they actually do is they play some old time commercials in between. You'd actually really like it, Dave.
What era? 80s, 70s?
70s and 80s commercials.
Oh yeah, I would love
they,
that.
They throw in those stuff, and I think some people go over a minute, and they're kind of a little lax. So it could be 5 minutes or something.
You got a horse whipping. Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but it's a pretty solid film festival. You email them, they give you 2 words, and you make a thing out of it. Our words were retirement disaster, and we made a film about retiring and it being a disaster. So
Mhm.
come on down to Franklin
That
Square and
works.
check it out November 6th.
Nice.
My Twitter handle at Dave TV Games and my YouTube channel TV Games. That's TEEVEE Games. And that's it. I have nothing else going on in my life.
And the silhouette, that is Dan.
Oh, the silhouette that is Dan. Yeah, no, October 1st is gonna be one of my last comedy things until October 1st at the brokerage in Belmore. Just come down. I think it was like $15 online, and just put my name in there, Dan Hoffman, and come down, laugh. You'll see about probably about 5 or 6 good comedians trying out new material, trying out the best.
5 or 6
And
good
then-
comedians, and then
well,
you see Dan.
last time they had about 12, and we were there until almost like 2 in the morning. So I'm hoping that's a little less.
Yeah.
But
Just go to see
also-
Dan though. He's the only one worthwhile.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And then November 5th, I'm going to return. I'm going to make my triumphant return to the Broadway Comedy Club in New York City on West 53rd. More details if you check out my my Instagram, and also my my cosplay page, which is Shaggy GB, and my Instagram is Shaggy1331. Can't get away from that.
15:30.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's me out.
Kenny, anything going on? Anything you want to promote?
Anything I want to promote? Still working on my book. When that finally comes around, maybe in about 1.5 years, 2 years, then I'll be like, hey. But
That's right.
right now, no.
Remind you in a year and a half.
What's that?
I'll remind you in a year and a half or
1.5 years. Yeah. So what's going on with that novel of yours? It's like it's.
It-
I touched it. Like George R.R. Martin. You know, I got just busy watching Game of Thrones. A new series is coming out.
Okay. That's what happened.
So, we're gonna have Kenny come back when he finishes the book. And,
I finished.
all right,
Hello,
guys.
Dougie.
This
Alrighty.
concludes this episode of Dodo Biscuits. Tune in next week or don't. Whatever. We don't care.
I'm playing with the doggy. Hi, doggy.
He's like, you have to walk my ass.
Stop it right now.
He literally looked at me and said,
That's
you're
so-
walking me.
Joe, is this like a podcast where it's just verbal, people hear, or people seeing us too?
They see us too.
They see us too. All right, so I can't dress.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I like to play with toys.
Like people will see me. All right.